They told you that your worth as a human being is defined by a 3-digit number. They told you that if you want a house, a car, or even a job, you need to bow down to the algorithm. They told you to get a credit card when you were 18 to build your history. They told you that the credit score is the bedrock of the American dream. I am here to tell you that the credit score is not a measure of your financial health. It is a measure of your obedience. It is a compliance score. It was not designed to help you build wealth. It was designed to keep you in a permanent state of debt servitude. Think about it. Who has a perfect credit score? The man who borrows money and pays it back slowly, with interest, forever. The man who is a profitable host for the banking parasites. Who has a bad or invisible score? The man who pays cash for his car. The man who has $10 million in the bank and zero debt. The man who needs nothing from them. To the system, the free man is a risk. The slave is a VIP. Today, we are going to expose the credit score for what it really is. A surveillance tool invented in 1989 to turn you into a product. And then, I am going to show you how to opt out of their game and build a life where you don't need their permission to survive. First, let's break the illusion. Most people think the FICO score is some ancient economic law, like supply and demand. Wrong. The FICO score as we know it was standardized in 1989. Before that, banking was human. Your banker knew you. He looked at your income, your character, and your assets. They replaced human trust with an algorithm managed by 3 private corporations: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These are not government agencies. They are data brokers. They profit by spying on your financial behavior and selling that data to banks, insurers, and landlords. You are not their customer. You are their inventory. Now let's dissect the algorithm. They tell you it's complicated. It's not. It is a behavior modification program. 35% of your score is payment history. This sounds reasonable, right? Just pay your bills. But look closer. They don't just want you to pay. They want you to maintain open accounts forever. If you pay off a loan and close the account, your score often drops. Why? Because you are no longer paying interest. You are no longer useful to them. They punish you for finishing the race. They want you to stay on the treadmill. 30% of your score is amounts owed or utilization. This is the biggest scam of all. They give you a credit limit, say $10,000. They tell you, here is your spending power. But if you actually use it, if you spend $5,000 to buy inventory for your business, your score crashes. Why? Because they want you to be afraid. They want you to have the capacity for debt, but live in constant fear of using it. It is a psychological leash. They want you to stare at that balance every day, terrified that using your own credit line will ruin your reputation. It forces you to keep your utilization under 30%, which means 70% of the credit they offered you is a lie. It is fake liquidity. 15% is length of credit history. This is the chain. You have a credit card you got when you were 20. It has terrible fees. It has a 29% interest rate. You want to close it. You can't. If you close it, your average age of accounts drops and your score tanks. You are forced to maintain relationships with banks you hate just to keep your number up. It is forced loyalty. You are essentially paying an annual fee just to keep a data point alive for the algorithm. They are holding your past hostage to control your future. 10% is new credit. If you shop around for a mortgage to get a better rate, which is the smart capitalist thing to do, they punish you with a hard inquiry. Imagine walking into a bakery and asking the price of bread, and the owner punches you in the face for asking. That is the credit system. They punish you for seeking competition. They want you to take the first offer from your master. They want you to be too scared to look for a better deal, because the mere act of looking hurts your score. The final 10% is credit mix. They actually boost your score if you have multiple types of debt: a mortgage, a car loan, a credit card, a student loan. If you only have one, your score is lower. They are explicitly rewarding you for being surrounded by debt on all sides. They want you to be diversified in your servitude. But the most insidious part is how the score has crept into the rest of your life. It used to be just for loans. Now, Your auto insurance rates are tied to your credit score. If your score is low, they assume you are a reckless driver. Your ability to rent an apartment is tied to your credit score. Even employers are checking credit scores during job interviews. They have turned a debt score into a social compliance score. If you don't play the game, they lock you out of society. They have made it so that you cannot function as a normal citizen unless you are actively participating in the debt system. This is not an accident. This is the design. A population that is worried about their credit score is a population that is docile. You won't quit your job to start a business because you might miss a payment and tank your score. You won't protest. You won't take risks. You won't step out of line. You will keep your head down, go to work, and make your minimum payments. The credit score is the modern version of the company store. So, what is the solution? Do you just stop paying your bills and ruin your life? No. That is what a child does. A man builds a parallel system. A man builds a fortress where the credit score cannot hurt him. Here is the roadmap to sovereignty. Step 1. The Ghost Protocol. You need to stop the bleeding of your data. Go to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion and freeze your credit files. This is free, and it is your legal right. When your credit is frozen, no one can pull your report. No one can open a fake account in your name. You stop the hard inquiries dead in their tracks. You are telling the data brokers, I am closed for business. You can unfreeze it temporarily if you decide to apply for something. But by default, you are dark. You are secure. This is the single most effective step you can take to protect your identity and stop the surveillance. It puts you back in control. They can't sell what they can't access. Step 2. Manual underwriting. But Brock, you say, if I don't have a credit score, how do I buy a house? This is the biggest lie they tell you. They tell you that you need a FICO score to get a mortgage. False. You can get a mortgage with no credit score. It is called manual underwriting. It is how your grandfather bought a house. It is how people bought houses for hundreds of years before 1989. Here is how it works. You find a lender who does manual underwriting. You provide proof of income. You provide proof that you pay your rent and utilities on time. You show them your assets. You show them that you are a reliable human being, not just a number. Yes, it takes more paperwork. Yes, a human being has to actually look at your file instead of a computer just scanning a number. But it means you can buy a home without spending 20 years worshiping a 3-digit number. There are mortgage lenders who specialize in this. Find them. Stop being lazy. Do not let a lazy loan officer tell you it is impossible just because he doesn't want to do the paperwork. The system wants you to believe the easy way is the only way. It isn't. Step 3. Asset-based living. The credit score is a measure of how good you are at borrowing money. The solution is to stop needing to borrow money for consumables. If you need a credit score to buy a car, you cannot afford the car. You are paying interest on a depreciating asset. That is financial suicide. A car is a tool, not a status symbol. If you borrow $30,000 for a car, you are paying $35,000 for something that will be worth $10,000 in 5 years. You are lighting your wealth on fire to impress people you don't like. Buy a car you can afford with cash. Drive a beater if you have to. Free yourself from the car payment, which is the single biggest wealth killer for the middle class. The average car payment in America is over $700 a month. Imagine if you took that $700 and bought gold. Imagine if you bought Bitcoin. Imagine if you bought land. In 10 years, you would be free. Instead, you have a shiny piece of metal in the driveway and a chain around your neck. But I need an emergency fund. A credit card is not an emergency fund. It is a shovel. Gold is an emergency fund. Cash in a safe is an emergency fund. When you have liquidity, the credit score becomes irrelevant. The rich do not care about their FICO score. They borrow against their assets. They use secured lines of credit backed by their portfolio, not their obedience. When you have assets, the bank lends to you because of what you own, not because of your score. They come to you. You don't beg them. Step 4. Strategic minimalism. I'm not saying you can never use a credit card. In the modern world, you need one to rent a car or book a hotel. The system demands it, but you treat it like a passport, not a lifestyle. Keep one card. Set it to auto-pay the full balance every month. Never pay a dime of interest. Do not chase points. Do not chase miles. Those rewards are funded by the millions of people who are drowning in 25% interest. You are eating the scraps from their misery. Use the tool, but do not worship the tool. Do not let the points game trick you into spending more than you earn. They want you to chase the rewards because it gamifies the debt. Oh, I'll just spend a little more to get the free flight. No, you just spent thousands of dollars to get a $300 ticket. You lost. The bank won. The house always wins unless you refuse to play their game. Step 5. Build real relationships. Go to a small local bank or credit union. Talk to a real person. Build a relationship where they know your face, not just your file. When times get tough, an algorithm will cut you off instantly. A human banker who knows your business might work with you. Decentralize your life. Do not keep all your money in one massive corporate bank that views you as a statistic. Spread it out. Hold physical cash. Hold physical metals. Be your own bank. The system wants you to believe that you are powerless without them. They want you to believe that if your score drops below 700, you are a failure. It is a lie. Your worth is your character. Your worth is your assets. Your worth is your ability to produce. Stop playing a game where the rules are rigged against you. Freeze the files. Pay with cash. Build real wealth. Make yourself ungovernable. This is not just about money. This is about freedom. If they can shut off your ability to travel, to live, to work, just by changing a number in a database, you are not free. You are a prisoner in a digital panopticon. Break the bars. Opt out. I'm Brock Masters. Welcome to the resistance.